Ever feel like you're drinking from an empty cup? I was led to make this video because I've been in a place where things have been difficult, and I know a lot of other people have been too, because when I mention it, they say, "It's not just you, sis. It's not just you. Everyone's feeling that way." And I said, "You know what? You're right." So I wanted to go through this journey with you so we won't feel alone. That's number one. Two is that I've created an arsenal over the years that I've gone through other transitions in my life that I thought would be a great time to share with you. I know I use them and dig back in now. And then finally, it's really just a sense of belonging. We don't want to feel alone. So many things are going on, if we're being honest, in the last year or several years, that while we've tried to put on our best self, detach, go with the flow, lean in some cases, all of the different things, it still takes a toll. It takes a toll. And I've been realizing it because at this point in my life, a lot of things have come together. I worked in corporate, now being an entrepreneur. Corporate gives you the salary, entrepreneurship gives you the freedom or flexibility. But then there's always something missing. And now, with what's going on in the world, the sense of injustice or the ability to even make money because of the way the economic systems and the government and agencies are sort of falling apart. We're all in this together. We're all realizing this together. So our self-care is not a one-time thing. We can't wait until January 1st to get it together. Okay. Our healing starts now. So I have an arsenal here that will take us into 2026 whole. And I probably started writing about 9 years ago. 15 years ago was when I hit a big transition, divorce and then car accidents and just who am I and where are my support systems and how do I take care of my family and me at the same time. And I really learned then a lot about what life was like. So as you mature, as you go through more and more cycles, and you know the cycles, you go through adolescence and then young adult, and then, you know, an older young adult, then middle age, then elderly, and then old. And you start to accept that these are parts of life. I'm going through my season of being middle age. I don't know when it just hit. What's going on with how women are being treated in the world, with my money, with the ability to make money, relationships with family, people who don't want to talk to you or have a certain vision. You have to sort of step back from all of this of feeling unappreciated, taken advantage of, the racism, the misogyny, the all of it. It's a lot, especially if you look like me, for someone like me. It really is. So I just wanted to bring this for everyone, but certainly I know that there's a healing that needs to happen right now. I woke up this Monday with the Monday morning blues, and it was just that. It was like, okay, I have things I'm trying to accomplish. It seems like the goalpost keeps getting moved further, and the world, I don't even want to turn on the news half the time because the things that you think about how things should work and morality and justice and right and wrong, it's all destroyed by the supremacy that's going on. It's crazy. So I've come back to my arsenal and I've just recently done the 10 days, and it's helping. Like, we're all on a path of awakening and enlightenment to be the best person we can be, to live a happy life of contentment, inner peace. I think that's the goal for everyone. And we really want it for everyone else when we're in our higher thinking. Okay. But when we're in our sort of in our feelings, in our personhood, it's easy to be angry. It's easy to feel put upon. It's easy to feel unappreciated. This is the answer at the beginning to the end. It's the key to all things, to stay in your higher self, to realize who you are and what your purpose is. And whenever we forget, like my Monday morning blues, not every Monday morning, but it's not unusual. I'll wake up with this sense of heaviness. I'm back in my person with to-do lists and this and that. But when I can get through a meditation or positive spaces, it's 7 intentions, 3 universal laws, and just daily affirmations. And I have written them in my books. So this is a 4-book arsenal to bring us into our wholeness for 2026. I'm saying let's start healing right now. We're not waiting for next year for 3 more months. No, like we're in the fall time. The seasons are changing. And it is true for everything. Everything is changing and we're feeling it viscerally, right? We're feeling it in our bones, in our emotion, in our skin, in our weight, in our disposition. The time is changing. It's literal. This isn't a metaphor. This is literally everything is changing inside and out. So we want to take advantage of this season. We feel it more in a more exciting way in the spring. Every season change is a major term. So I want to introduce to you this arsenal that will help get through this season, that will help with the healing. And it all depends on what you want to achieve and what season that you're in. Okay. I have the 10 days. This is the 7 intentions, like meditation and exercise and kindness. We'll go through all 7. If you do those in 10 days, transforms your life. So this is transformative. A year of me, mindful eating to improve well-being. This is grounding. This is 366 daily affirmations. I am enough. I eat what nourishes me. I am all that God planned for me to be. That daily, energetic, high vibration grounding. Hopefully you do first thing in the morning. A wellness journey. This is a journal that also prompts you on the 7 intentions, but it's for 60 days. So this is more restorative and reflective. You're going back, really working on yourself and being introspective about the epiphanies and what's going on and just staying in that higher level. Because again, it's the lower level that gets us down. And the universal laws of awakening. And this has 11 universal laws that, just like gravity is a law of physics, there are laws beyond that. The law of vibration, the law of one, how everything is connected, the law of ebb and flow, how everything ebbs and flows. This season that we're in now is part of the law of ebb and flow. It's going to come, it's coming in, and it's going to go, as sure as bad times and good times. So that's why it's important to get on a higher level regularly, know how to stay on that level longer so you don't react to the craziness of the world as quickly and you stay there in shorter periods of time. People ask me, TK, which book should I get? The Universal Laws of Awakening is for awakening. It's that when you're wanting higher principles, higher spiritual principles. So they're universal laws, but they're not in the physical. They're in the spiritual, they're in the non-material. So you're talking a lot more about love, compassion, belief, these things that the higher virtues, goodness, kindness, gladness, friendliness, but there are laws that govern these, that you actually create that which you believe. And some would say, well, why would we have created this world that we're in now? That's the collective consciousness. And I want you to, if you're enjoying these conversations, I'm TK, a personal wellness and spiritual well-being author. And please follow my channel, subscribe, and comment. And let me know what resonates with you, what you want to hear more of, and what questions you might have. Because again, there's a lot of seasons. I've been around a minute. So all of these books over the last 9 years, I've written when I've come up against different things in different seasons. And now as I am more mature, I can tell you going from the 20s to the 30s and the 30s to the 40s and the 40s to the 50s is like, they give you different things and you don't know it until you get there. But now that I've come some ways, I've seen some things, I still come back to these myself. And I wish I had this arsenal to help me when I was going through things. So now I think collectively, just I use them all at the same time because if you're doing like the 10 days and the 7 intention, it's going to have journaling in it. It's going to talk about all of these higher truths in a different way, but more on a practical level. So all of these are useful. And certainly the more that you fortify your spirit, you just can't lose. Okay. So I'm going to take you through each of these and you'll see it's just a package. It's a toolkit. So take what you need. When you go hang a picture, you go get your hammer and your hanger wires or whatever. You get what you need. You don't need the wrench or some other things. This is like that. It's a toolkit. I often do the 10 days and I start out with a wellness journal. So when I do it, I know this is the 60-day journal. So I'll do the first 10 days in here, the active journal. You can see my writings and scribblings. I use every piece of it. And you can keep your points for I call them intentionality point. Let's start with the 10 days, a wellness retreat for personal transformation at home. So I talk about 3 beliefs and 7 intentions in this book. I want you to still. I talk about the 7 intentions, which are, and if you can do these in 10 days, you will have a transformation. You will have awakening. You will see epiphanies, synchronicities, all of it, because it's like an alchemy that when you do them all together in a certain amount of time, like baking a cake, you're in a hyper sense of oneness, of divine intelligence, of health and well-being. So it's meditation, which is sitting in stillness. And I really think of it now differently than I did when I started meditating. If you've never meditated, try different things. For me, it's ultimately being still and detaching from my personality and identity. So leaving my thoughts alone. I can watch my thoughts, see my thoughts, and eventually they sort of go away. It was really slowing the chatter of the day until you can get to a place of total stillness. And it usually takes a practice. But after a while, you start to live this meditation. You start to be aware in a sense of oneness. It's really getting back to your higher self, the part of you that's always there, but you can't hear it before the noise. So you go into a sense of quiet and stillness to meditate. That's my first intention. And I think that's important. Some people do breath work, take a few deep breaths. There are all different types of meditation and yoga. So whatever works for you, but doing something meditative, prayer, stillness, meditation every day is key. That's the first intention. Because wisdom speaks in silence. The voice of God, stillness, love, intuition, all of that emerges from silence. And so that's the real big bonus and key of meditation. And you hear things come from it now. It is an ancient wisdom to take with us now. So meditation, exercise, 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, but I say at least 30. Just walk around, walk up to the corner and back, walk a few blocks and back. Just really movement, stretches, bending. But especially as you get older, if you're younger, definitely go hit 30, 60 minutes. If you're older and you're not as mobile, just do what you can do. But the target for everybody should be at least 30 minutes of just some consistent movement outside, preferably. And that keeps you going. That keeps your organs moving. That keeps your joints moving. I mean, this body is meant to be moved and used. It's like a car. If it sat for 15, 20, 30 years, it's just not going to work. So the more we use it, lubricate it, feed it good stuff, we're feeling good, which is the next one is mindful eating. Number 3, you are what you consume. And also there is a meditation. There is a oneness with yourself that happens when you are mindful and when you eat mindfully, when you think of all of the inputs that had to go into that food on your plate. The meat, it had to be grown, fed, shipped, cut, all cooked, refrigerated. And the same for the vegetables. I mean, like when you can think of how amazing this unit, this network of life is, the oneness of which we are, you really, it takes on a different appreciation for life, which is important, especially in these times that can be very difficult for us to see the goodness that's out there instead of like the craziness. Am I right? The fourth intention is self care. And that's not just going and pampering yourself, although that could be, and that is self care. But I'm talking about the self care that is giving yourself grace, showing compassion to yourself. So, yes, go get a manicure or whatever. But if you don't ever usually get to go outside, if you don't take off a day at work, take off a day. Anything that you don't normally do that you would do for and to yourself to show compassion. A lot of times when we have families and jobs that are so busy and demanding, we put ourselves last. So put yourself first, however that means. Self care is not selfish in a bad way. It's the type of when I can take care of myself, I can take care of you. I can't take care of you if I don't even know how to take care of myself. I'm just digging a bigger hole. So that is the premise behind this self care. You and I can take care of me. So that's why this 10 days is like an at home retreat. You really want to push everyone else out of your mind. Tell them, I'm on a retreat, like you're on a vacation in another continent. You can still do it at home. You can do it at any point. You just have to also have the discipline to set some boundaries and to really know how good the stuff is for you. And it doesn't take a lot of time each day. A lot of people don't even need to know. But if you have a big, busy family, definitely you might want to let them know. Mommy's meditating, or I'm not going to be in the office on Thursday and Friday. So self care is a big. The fifth one is journaling and daily affirmations. One of the book, a wellness journal is a journal, another piece of your arsenal. It fulfills itself. But journaling every day is very cathartic. People say, what should I journal? Whatever you feel like. Usually when you put pen to paper, something will come. You can journal about the day, thoughts you had, something creative you heard. The point is to start. And then that higher self, that higher part of you, somewhat comes out and then leads the way for you, which is a big part of this path. This is how this works. We can only do so much as people. Spirit, God, higher divine consciousness, grace comes in and takes us the rest of the way. It's a dance. It's a movement together. Thoughts turn into things. A man is as he thinketh. As if you start your day with affirmations, positivity, I am enough. I am the light. I am a child of God. I am beautiful in every way. I am meant to be here. I am awesome. I have a place. I am above no one and below no one. All things are working for me. All is well. You can't help but to start gearing up in a good way. Did you ever notice those days that when you wake up in a bad mood, the whole day goes bad? If you can catch yourself, and these intentions will do it, right? If you can catch yourself, if you start a meditation practice, you caught yourself already. But I can tell you on my Monday blues, I just woke up. I woke up early in a worried state. And even through meditation, sometimes you hit a resistance. So with the practice of these, this is the magic of how it works. Instead of hitting a resistance where you're going like this, it's like you can hit it like this, so sort of go with the resistance for a while so that it can come back around. I heard Eckhart Tolle explain it like that. I thought it was so beautiful. It was like a karate move or like a fight when they say you use someone else's energy against them. So instead of just staying stuck in the resistance, which is where a lot of us are, which is where I am in many ways, which is why I'm turning and sharing this arsenal with you, is like, how do you go with that and move it intentionally so that we can come back around into a better place? I love that. We need to do that for each other. I'm telling you, when I talked to a couple of my girlfriends earlier this week, it really helped me just because I think I'd been sitting working from home in my own head and doing my writing. And then I was like, oh, yeah, ain't one, I'm not alone. And two, I'm not alone. We are not alone. It's the law of one, which we'll talk about. These things help. like I said, all the 7 intentions come together in such a way like a Rubik's Cube or a 5D puzzle, so that you're heightened in so many ways, goodness coming at you from so many levels, you're transformed very quickly. The 6th intention is kindness and gratitude. And I'm just wanna stay with the kindness. When I first put the intentions together and really thought about them, and I had gone to a lot of sort of wellness and spiritual retreats to figure out there were certain things that were just common to all of them, like the eating and the meditation and the kindness and gratitude. It's sort of unspoken. I want to just stick with the kindness because I think what's more potent in these 10 days is to be intentionally kind. That takes something else out of you. Sit in gratitude. Being thankful is being thankful to something out there. Being in gratitude is right here. Just being present in a full sense of yes. And the same for kindness. We talk about kindness and it's a thought. Oh, I think kind things and I'm a kind person. No, do a kindness. Do a kindness every day. Be intentionally kind every day. And that's a game changer. Okay. And then finally, rest and sleep. 8 hours of sleep is optimal. Some people can sleep less. I'd say try to get 6, and you probably don't need much more. You can't even really make up for sleep unless you're sick or you've been out of it for a while. I've been like tired and sick and slept for 12 hours, but that's just literal fatigue. On the normal basis, just 8 hours of quiet and sleep. And I say that to say no screen time. If you wake up in 6 hours, keep it quiet. Don't turn on the TV or do other things. Because your body, what happens when you sleep is not just that you sleep, it is when you are with your higher self. You escape the noise of this world. That's why some people can't sleep. They can't escape the attachment of identity to this world enough. It's an indicator that we need to be more present to be with our higher self. That's when our body heals. That's when our short-term memory goes into the long-term memory files. Our joints get stronger. The ones that we tore during that exercise, they rebuild at night. A world full of things happens with the body in our rejuvenation as we sleep and in our minds. Everything. It's good. It's like drinking water, which is not one of the intentions, but it's part of the mindful eating. I want to just add and go back to that. Mindful eating, I say no wasp, no white flour, alcohol, sugar, or processed food. No wasp. I could add water to that. That's a yes to water. These cleansing things. So being mindful, no alcohol, no sugar, no processed foods. And again, this is for 10 days. I'm not telling people go quit drinking, although I am trying to quit drinking or certainly drinking a lot less. But I try not to eat white bread. I'll get, you eat brown or even sourdough bread. So just being mindful about all those things that you do. But if you do it really strictly in the 10 days, it's 24-point system that I've created. So each of them has a point system. Like sleep and rest is 8 points, meditation is 4, and that's 10 of the 24 points. You see, those are pretty heavily weighted and very important in the whole scheme of things. That is the 10 days, and there's a lot of wisdoms in the back and recommended book lists, things from William Blake and Marianne Williamson. There's koans and parables. So it gives you the methodology, it gives you the point system for the 10 days, how to get those 24 points. And it's really I've done it several times. You see, this is my copy. And you can actually journal the first 10 days in here if you don't have your own separate journal yet, or if you don't have a wellness journey yet. It's really transformational. And again, every time I hit a hard time and I forget to do it, I'm like, why when I get a little bit down and then spirit says, come on, girl, you got the answer. You got the answer right here. This is transformational. So that's if you want something in 2 weeks, like right away, like now, because it doesn't necessarily take the whole 10 days. If you're doing this, you're building up and you haven't been exercising or sleeping or haven't been intentionally kind and you never journaled before, your first time it's going to be amazing. The 10 days, a wellness retreat or personal transformation at home. We're just going to go right to a wellness journey because It is a quest for remarkable well-being, and this is remarkable wellness. And I just love this. It's lightweight, it's easy, and it goes up to 60 days. It has daily affirmations at the top of each day. And for the first 10 days, it gives you the point system of all of the 7 intentions. It's a bit of a companion, but it's really like a cliff note, but it goes for 60 days. Even if you just start out doing the 10 days here and you have the point system, you'll know them by then. And then you just write them on the top of any page. You have your prompts, and it has today's mood and the date and your contemplation. This is for reflection, self reflection, restoration, your thoughts you can work through, your habits, your your higher thinking. Wow. But it's definitely 60 days. It's a nice commitment. It's not too long. It is not too short. Okay. So you've got something to do for 10 days, something to do for 2 months. Here's the grounding. This is my first book. A Year of Me, Mindful Eating to Improve Well-Being. This has 366 days of affirmation because I include leap years because I'm a leap year baby, February 29th. Call A Year of Me, Mindful Eating to Improve Well-Being, but it's mindfulness and it's not just eating. So I just want to give you a flavor of some of the affirmation. Randomly, I just opened the book. I eat only one dessert this week, and this is in July. And it says having a sweet tooth is not an excuse to purchase a sheet of brownies or a family-sized pint of double chocolate chunk. This week, eat only one dessert. Donate the sugar and cookies and give your muffins to your neighbor. And it's not saying don't eat any sweets. It's just saying just once this week. Here's one of my favorites. I activate the possible. So it's being mindful. It's not just about eating. It is I activate the possible, not feeling like a victim to what's going on around me and in the world. You create your life. You are just as special and likely as anyone else to do it. It's difficult to escape any rut when negativity seems to attract you like a magnet. The job, a toxic relationship, money issues, or health issues. Life can be tough. I've been there. Interestingly enough, we all have. At one time or another, this short list above hits almost everyone. Everyone has adversity, and you wouldn't want to trade their struggles for yours. The difference between people who find their way to happiness and those who don't is belief. And it goes on. And so this every day, you start with something affirming to get you on your way. So this is the arsenal. So if you're enjoying this, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe and follow. And what I want to do is offer you a 10-day wellness reset for 2026. So I'm going to give you a workbook that has all of the 7 intentions and 3 laws and some daily affirmations for free in the link. All you have to do is click on it and download. And it'll be like getting a mini workbook, a free look, a freebie of consolidated of all of these because we need it. And if I can help one of you or 2 of you and we help each other, it's worth it. And then there'll be links to figure out how to get in touch with me and to get the rest of the arsenal for yourself. Next, I want to talk to you about three universal laws. There's 11 in this book, and a few of them are very key. I have to start with the law of one, which I mentioned already here, is that we are all in this together. That what does it mean that the law of one or everything is one? You hear that a lot. And it took me a while to really kind of get what that means. Every time we face a problem, suffering, it is because there's a distance between what we want and what we have, that we desire something differently than what we have. And so the key to not suffering is to reduce that, to learn how to be happy with what we have. right here, right now, at the present moment. That fact means that what's most important is right here, right now. And that is the one thing. This is the first way of thinking of it. It is the one thing. It's not all of the things that you're dissatisfied about, that you don't have, that are a distance from you. It is the one thing that is contentment and happiness is where you're totally centered on where you are right now. When you're here, you're not in conflict with anything, right? Because you're at peace, in harmony, centered. How do you stay here? Stillness, meditation. When your body isn't aggravated, the food, it's easier to be still. But you come to this higher place, in this place before thought, before you're creating thought, biases, opinions. This is the spiritual place. This is the non-material place. It's where we are all joined and connected. It's like air and space. It is the ether from which everything breathes. It is the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the breath of the breath. What allows all this to be is the oneness. When we say the law of one, when you realize this, you realize what you do matters and what other people do matters as well. But you can be a bigger influence. You can be a brighter light. You can use this energy in this way, because when we use the way of depression and attitude, it brings us down low and it makes our suffering more intense and our light seem heavier. Okay, this book talks about these laws in this way so that we can understand them and utilize them. Okay, we're all connected. It makes me feel a little bit better when I realize I'm not going through this alone. Belonging is a real thing. Loneliness on the other end of that is a real thing. So that'll bring me to a second law, the law of polarity. And it's one of my favorite laws. And I was thinking, because it's 11 laws and I had some different ones chosen, but see, I go with the spirit. There's a thing of going with the flow of who needs it, who's going to watch this, who is here and present at the time. This is for you. So the law of polarity helps us to see things not as opposites, which is so easy to see in the world today, right, left, and progressive or conservative, whatever. People think it's opposites, but it's really a pole, just like hot and cold. At what point does hot become cold? It's a spectrum. Courage and vulnerability, they're on the same pole. It's not you're a coward or you're courageous. It's the same pole. It's as you face your fears, you move up the pole towards that which you desire. Fear is what keeps us on the end of a polarity that is hard to come back from in the moment. That's why these practices are good. So when the moment confronts you, the job, the boss, the low bank account, the craziness on the news, you already have the toolkit, you have the stamina, you have the tools. You can take a deep breath. You can go for a walk. You can drink that tea. You have the toolkit. You can comport yourself in a way that, okay, it may get to you for a moment, but now we can get over it. Polarity is a way of looking at life so that it's not an opposite, failure or winning. They're not opposites. They're on the same pole. They're on, maybe you could call it achievement or your sense of accomplishment. And again, if you can look at the pole as being neutral, so there's no failure, hot or cold or courage or vulnerability. One isn't bad or good. They're states of being. And so as you can realize this law and say, so the things that are going on in the world now, there's a lot of, we could say, polarity. And, it seems like there's no place of meeting in the middle. I would say, I do like to think of this law in a way that they're on the other end of this pole who don't think like I do. They're not opposite me. They're believing I'm opposite than they are. And that's the problem. They're thinking they're better, different, somehow greater than me. And it's not true. So that's where this disconnect is coming. So when I can recognize the lie, the cancer in the system, then I don't have to beat myself up for it. Again, that self-care or compassion, the adult things come around. But I don't do that because I can see they're not even believing, they don't understand the law of one. They're like, no, I'm separate from you. I'm gonna get me mine. I don't care about other people. I don't care what countries you come from. I don't care who your mom and daddy is. If they don't have no money for me or they're not helping me, I don't care. That's not really the higher consciousness way. This is why they don't like people they call woke. I'm just saying. Okay, so that's two laws. There is the law of love and fear. And the laws are so closely related. Again, it's an arsenal. You don't have to use to know all the laws. You don't have to know all the affirmations. You don't have to know all of the intentions. But you have the pieces for where you are in your life right now that you can pick from that speak to you and that are the most helpful. The law of love and fear is that you look at everything through either love or fear, period. We can go further and say that only love exists. That's in the law of one. You can read that in here, the law of love and fear, because in our personality, in our identity, when we come out of our higher self, now we're back into duality. And that's where the fear comes, comparing yourself to someone else and how much you make or what you drive or meeting your parents' expectations or your boss's expectations or your children's expectations or your spouse's. It's always something. So when you can come fully into yourself without needing the rest of the world's expectations, that you are the love that through which the light comes that helps everyone else, then the fear, it actually dissipates. It's a really good one. So just in any moment, when you're good or bad times, it tends to be really helpful in the challenging times, is how am I looking at this? Am I looking at this through fear or love? Am I afraid of what's going to happen? Sometimes the situation seems so daunting, like the things that we're seeing in our current events. Like, how can I possibly look at this through love? A loving way, the law of love and fear is very useful when you can just stop and see, how am I looking through this? How can I look at something that seems so bad in a loving way? Is you can use the current events. I am writing another book to be able to encourage readers in a time like now, especially with the financial insecurity that's going on, because I have a background in finance. So that is the loving way I come at an unloving situation. I come with a resource, with the help, with the talent. And that's what we can all do. If I'm looking at it through fear, then I'm probably going to want to hurt somebody. And we're seeing examples of that now. And I don't want that for anybody. That's not the way. That's not the way. You can see how, because there have been times, I'm sure you've had some fear and it makes you angry, and that anger makes people want to act out. And so, again, this is the antidote. This is the antidote to all of that hate mongering for our own self survival. Because when we feel good and we're the light, then we can deal with the rest of the world better. But if we go out there and ready to combust, a fight you will find. They're aching for it. You hear me? Itching for a fight. Get with yourself, with your higher self. Check out this arsenal. There's a link in the notes. I have this bundle on bookshop.org, or you can find them in Amazon, but you can get the 10-day reset workbook for free. That link is also in the comment. So we have the 10 days for personal transformation. You can do this at home, 7 intentions. We have the wellness journal. This is for reflecting and restoration, 60 days journal, and the 7 intentions. We have the universal laws of awakening, which is awakening. It's your path to enlightenment, higher consciousness, fourth and fifth dimension principles to really help guide you. And a year of me mindful eating to improve well-being. This is grounded. This is The body, this is daily affirmation. This is energy. This is pressing forward every day with the goodness of life. So I hope you'll enjoy this. Download, get your arsenal. This will take us into 2026. I'm calling this our wellness arsenal for 2026. Go into 2026 whole. You deserve it. I'm TK. I am your wellness and spiritual author, sister, guide, coach, friend. Let's get better. Let's get this healing. We need it now. Love and light.